The best effective medicine is... I have no idea.
You see, I've had a lot of things wrong with me. I mean, I'm always going to the doctors, and you get there and you find out, well, there's queues to wait all the time, isn't there? Most of the time, and then, doctors a lot of the time waiting in queues, and, most of the time you spend most of your time in the doctors waiting, don't you?
Well, I'm sorry, I'm one of these that goes to the doctor when it's generally necessary. I mean, I am one of these goes for every pill, potion and tablet that there is. You know, if I know what's the matter with me, I expect the doctor to do something about it. I won't be fobbed off by them.
Doctors have always scared me because when I was born I nearly died. I had 50% chance of living when I was born, and was in a little incubator, and all my eyes were covered and I was yellow, which was awful.
I rarely go to the doctor. The last time I did go, he thought I'd died because I hadn't been for such a long time.
Doctors and I are great friends. I owe a lot to doctors. They've kept me alive. I've seen a lot of them. They've come, they've prodded me from top to bottom, in and out, every end, every part of my body. And they've cut me open, stitched me up, and done a pretty good job on me all over.
I'm the kind of person that's sort of a bit of a hypochondriac, and if I get a little sort of nagging pain or something, I automatically think it's something really serious. But then I never go to the doctor, really.
And you never shut up about it either.
I know, it's just kind of like typical bloke, I suppose, where...
It's not.
Should we rave about it now?
Well, it's these heart palpitations I get. You see, you never know when they're going to come, and they just... You got your heart jumping about all over the place.
Can't do with sputum, and I can't do very much with feet. I can't do anything with anybody's feet. I've all I'm doing anything with my own, and sputum really makes my stomach turn over. You know. I don't mind vomit.
I developed a funny lockjaw. You know, the dribble was coming out the side of my mouth. I couldn't speak, I couldn't chew. I just wanted to die. Took one look at me and said, "Oh, that's allergic reaction." He gave me my antidote, and immediately my mouth just went, "Ugh." Back to normal.
That's what I got now. I've got throat swelling now. I've got the tablets for that at the moment as well.
I've took a lot of tablets all my life, about 23,000, and I'm still alive. But at the end of the day, I think without them I'd have been dead.
I once had my head slammed in a door. That was good. I was saying goodbye to my friend, and somebody slammed the door on my head, and it was my birthday, and I had to have 5 stitches in my head, so I've got them as well.
I could have had a DVT, couldn't I, laid in bed all that time, but as I said, they gave me an anticoagulant. Anyway, I'm here to tell the story, so there's people worse off than I am, and I can walk about all right.
I remember having a severe cold which didn't shift, and I shared a flat with a couple of vet students who dosed me with Famil syrup, the main active ingredient of which I believe is creosote. So I spent several days smelling like a fence post, but it did the job.
You see, I've had a lot of things wrong with me. There was big problems with my eyes at one stage. I went in about my eyes on a lot of times and had to go to see specialists. And you see that, but what they do is they clamp your head in a big clamp, and they want to bounce things on your eyeballs.
I had an eye operation quite a few years ago. I flew very quickly after I'd had the eye operation.
Well, you can't, you couldn't be doing with that, and so I'm pulling my head out of this clamp all the time.
And it was a real concern. I shouldn't have flown because it put too much pressure behind the eye.
That's another occasion when they told me I could just go on my own way, so I got thrown out of there as well.
I've fallen for a nurse, yeah. I fell for a nurse once. Little blonde, beautiful little blonde lady. She was quite nice, she was. Yes. I used to travel to Birmingham to see her on my old motorbike.
I had a blood test the other day, but I do not like needles. I don't like needles at all. I look away when I'm having an injection.
I'm fine with injections into any part of my body, but I won't have them in my mouth. And the reason is that I've
always been completely the opposite. I love injections in my mouth.
Really?
I really quite like them. In fact, the more sort of intrusive the dentistry, the better I like it, really.
Well, I'm not keen on dentists now. I was the last in Britain to be gassed.
They didn't use enough gas, did they?
No, I mean, I did come round. But that's when they first started phasing gas out, because they said gas is too dangerous.
The big black mask. Oh. You can see it coming towards your face, and the smell of the rubber, and having all my bottom teeth filled without anaesthetic. Dentists. Just brutal. Really brutal.
Dr. Bewers, he was very good, that boy. I mean, I think he was the first one that told me, you know, some of the many things that was wrong with me. You know, I had a problem with the inner ear and asthma, what I had for a long time.
Got a small scar on my forehead where a child threw a brick at me. Well, it seemed like a brick at the time, but... And I've got a scar here.
I have no scars whatsoever anywhere. Have I? In fact, you count that as a scar. It's only a little.
Well, it is a scar, yeah.
Well, I don't count it as a scar, so.
Do you not?
No.
I've got a scar on my elbow, and a scar on my other elbow, and a scar on my knee.
On my face, my legs, my stomach.
And a scar on my other knee, my tongue, my head.
My arms, wrists, hands, everywhere. There is no one part on my body that does not have a scar.
I don't think I've got any other scars. Not physical ones, mental ones, obviously. I've got a lot of them, but you can't see them because they're inside my brain.
I was injured badly once. Somebody kicked me in the forehead. Being very young, I got up and carried on and didn't think, has it done me much damage? For all I know, some of that damage may still be there. May still affect some of the things I do and some of the things I say.
I've broken all my toes, I've got a dodgy knee, I've busted both my ankles and bent my feet back round so they're next to my shins, broken my hand and my wrist, my collarbones 3 times, bashed my head, knackered my back. And it's all been worth it.
It's great. I love smiling, I love being happy and jovial, telling jokes, being the butt end of jokes, but hey, now I can do it with a mouthful of teeth, and I'm really looking forward to it.
I've had crabs, they were good.
They got out of hand, didn't they?
They did, yeah.
Ooh, hang on. Won't let anyone stick a thermometer.
Now it's a lot of talk, is what I find. Yeah. Sorry, what was the question again?
Digging dirt up and then putting it on the compass. That's our favourite thing in the garden.
I love gardening. You know, they say in the garden, it's the closest place to God, you know. And actually, I'm waiting for a nice warm day so I can go and pull a few things up, you know what I mean? So it's like God, oh, hello.
I like gardening, but I'd like to do more. I'd like to have the time. I love to see things grow. I love to design things.
Well, a garden's a place for contemplation, isn't it? For reflection.
Gardening, eh?
Very apt.
Well, we don't really know much about gardening, do we?
We seem to get boy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, gardening, you know, it's not an easy job. You know, when you're digging all day, you know, the old back tends to suffer at the end of the day. You make it as easy as you can, really.
I would call this a labour-intensive garden. Yes, it is.
Me and Nigel we like being out in the open more than we do actually indoors. I believe that anyway. Yeah. And I think what Nigel likes about it is he's got that sort of saying, like, you know, no, do it this way, and I think he likes that. But I think we get on quite well together. Sometimes you have a moan at me and that about it, like, but I mean, 2 minds are better than 1. That's what I always say. Sure. But you know, we make sure that the job is done, and it's done to the best of our capabilities, and the job is cleared, and the job is actually spot on when we leave.
We have a yard that Des is very nicely decked out, haven't we, Bob?
Yeah. Well, it's all right.
I really like it. It's got loads of sun, got some ornamental grasses.
It's quite small, but it's nice.
it's not that small.
Smallish.
There aren't many ponds in the neighbourhood. And certainly in the height of summer, when it gets quite dry, sort of any body of water attracts frogs from miles around. Sort of a Lonely Heart pond for frogs, yes. Sort of singles bar sort of thing, yeah.
I get a bird's eye view of some of the most extraordinary gardens. Sometimes you can be up one tree which has 8 gardens underneath it, and all the neighbouring gardens are gnashing their teeth about this big tree, and the person who owns the tree has a very defensive attitude towards it.
You've got a little bit of decking and then a bit of grass and sort
And
of
a bit of
loads
slabs.
a bit of slabs.
It has, it's
What
got
do you mean?
everything.
I pay right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Slabs.
And you can dig dirt, grass, sheds, bikes, flat stones.
What's your favourite plant?
I don't have any favourite plants. I like all the plants, except vegetables. I hate vegetables.
I don't like any plants except vegetables.
You only say that.
No, it's true. I know. I quite
like olive trees.
I can't see the point of flowers, really.
I like a good-looking garden which attracts all sorts of living things into it, to be a sort of magnet for life. I like contrasts of form and colour.
And cat pepper and dog pepper. And bird pepper.
It's that organic gardening, that's coming a long way, isn't it?
Yeah.
All people are sort of... I noticed in our gardens that we visit that there's a lot of people with their own compost heaps and that's putting their own sort of peelings and stuff like that.
Well, it's like that garden we done up in Portishead. That one at the bottom, she had all that black stuff and we opened it up, it was jet
That's
black,
right,
remember?
Yeah.
And that was that when we done all the shrubs and that in her garden.
Yeah.
And that stuff was really good. And I mean that's good for the organic stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it all helps, doesn't it?
Yeah.
They're about number 1 on the hit list of slugs. Crawling and sliming across leaves and eating. You know, not very good. You follow him on, you just see these silvery trails.
I can eat almost anything.
Yeah, I think I'm the same too.
I won't refuse. And the only thing I don't eat is Turkish delight.
I like Turkish delight. See?
I can't stand it.
Yeah, I
and
like
lychees.
Turkish.
Lychees.
Yeah, what don't I like? No, I think I like most everything. Yeah, Brussels sprouts and that, I like them, but Mrs. don't like it.
No, not
Not
at all.
after.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Slugs, in my opinion, they're ugly looking things, but they're probably eating other creatures, aren't they? So they're probably doing your garden good to leave them.
I don't think they are actually doing your garden good.
Are they not?
They're eating... If they eat your leaves
I
and
know
things,
nothing about
they can wreck
gardening.
your plants.
Can
That's
they?
why they make slug pellets.
Oh well, yeah, you're
They
right.
don't make worm pellets.
Silly old me, I know.
I suppose the next one along is a caterpillar, which seems a shame when you think a caterpillar turns into such a beautiful thing. But a caterpillar can make such a mess of a lot of plants, with leaves munched away again.
Yeah, I like the idea of like a good crop of potatoes or a good crop of beans and peas. Whereas flowers,
Aren't useful.
I mean, they are.
Well, they are.
They're useful in the sense that you
They're
can
pretty.
sit and enjoy it, but it's an awful lot of effort, isn't it?
No, it's not.
I must admit to having a very great affection for the plant that we call by the unfortunate name of dog's tooth violet. Sorry for that delay.
There is a shrub that I do like actually, and that's the burning bush. You ever seen them?
The burning bush?
It's called a burning bush.
A burning bush?
A burning bush it's called. And basically it goes green, and that, when it goes to die off, it goes completely brilliant red.
Oh, like flames, no?
Yeah, that's what they call it, a burning bush, because it actually goes from a nice dark green to a real burning red.
Red.
And that's called the burning bush.
It turns to ash?
It just goes to like branches, thin little branches, and then it goes green again and goes all over it again. But the tree never goes away; it stays there all the time. So it's a bush that's there, and well, I should say a shrub, as well as a bush, what is there all year round.
It's just mucky, messy, boring rubbish.
It's got a shed, which I'm really made up about, because I've like always wanted a shed all my life, and now I've got one.
To read pornography in.
Not to read pornography, to have a radio and listen to the football results with a paraffin heater in fingerless gloves.
It's not chocolate, it's not grass, it's not anything, it's dirt. I'm telling stories.
British food, I think, is first class. It's somehow clean, satisfying.
English food is very bland, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'm not terribly spicy, I'm not either.
Oh, well,
I like the spices, and the spices don't like me, you know what I mean?
No, I like spices, and I like all kinds. There's nothing around here anyway, is there?
The trouble with the foods we eat now, there's too much fat in them. And the worst thing that happens in this country, there's too many people eat chips.
Ooh. Egg and chips. Egg, chips, gammon. Chip butties.
I mean, at lunchtime, instead of kiddies going down and buying a couple of apples or a couple of pears, what do? They go to the chip shops and buy chips. And when they get home at night, they have chips again.
You know, if I have too much chocolate, I get a bit fat, and I put on a lot of weight.
Yeah, she eats really well for a diet. I mean, I pile the weights on and she piles it off. So I think what she loses, I gain.
I try and eat healthily.
And she eats brown bread and all the rest of it. Apples and bananas, you name it, she eats it.
The main staple diet for runners is...
We had, in fact, we had wild strawberries, little wild strawberries. And of course, if it was acorn time, you could always eat an acorn. And even the thistle, you could always peel the top off of the thistle.
Are you talking about food I go to a restaurant? I like everything.
Everything.
You know, not one particular, like a Mexican or a thing. That's no good for me.
There are one or two foreign foods I do have. Rice pudding, proper pizzas. Like some of the deep pan pizzas.
The crust on top, amazing, and then that gooey stuff inside. But that sort of poo is a lot healthier, horse poo and cow poo. Cow pats are fantastic to look at, though, with all those dung beetles crawling around inside them.
As long as it's filling and barely edible, I'll pretty much eat it. I'm always too hungry to be picky.
I didn't like to eat anything really that was contaminated by any insect. Although we put up with it when you're hungry. I never ate it, that I know of. I may have done. I don't know.
Horse poo is very good, you know, but human poo and dog poo, that's poisonous, I think.
Yeah, but if you eat a bit of dirt, it don't matter, does it?
No, they reckon you eat a pound of dirt anyway. In your lifetime, they reckon you eat a pound of dirt. God. Without even knowing.
I used to go around the back of shops, supermarkets, going down the back of the skips to get
No
the
problem.
chocolate out. Yeah, I've eaten food that's been a week old and whatever. Anything from frozen to tins. I used to find all sorts of food in the skips. I was like liberating it.
And then there's elephant poo, which is enormous. And lion's poo, now that must frighten anybody off.
I don't catch flies because they eat poo. And I don't like poo.
Like eating dirt, you got your trace elements in there, aren't you?
Yeah.
You know, and it builds up your resistance to infection
Exactly.
as well. So it ain't a bad thing, I don't think.
Dirt on food.
Dirt on food? What? Dirt on food can kill you. You can put one mouthful of dirty food in your mouth and you can be a goner. Can you ask me that question?
I think I've ate more lead shot than I've certainly ate oysters. I think that's probably, I don't know, it's probably why my brain's a bit funny, or, yeah.
Dog and cat food.
It smells absolutely disgusting,
Well,
doesn't
it's
it?
very strong.
Horrible.
It's very strong.
Oh, I don't think I'd like to eat a sheep's eyeball or an intestine of a cow or something like that. But if you've got all these sort of intestines and all these sort of, not so appetising bits of animals, then they mix it all up in a mixer and then they call it
I don't want to sound like a cannibal, but there again, we all went out for a meal and the chicken was so horrible. I could vomit all night and never stop. That was really, really horrible.
Horrible. Yeah, bloody milk cartons. Goes everywhere, milk, anything. There's too many bags in the world.
God help the people with arthritis.
Yes,
they never open them.
they can't.
It's terrible.
Even to tea bags, even to get the stuff.
The
It's
cellophane on it, you
ridiculous.
can't open it. The biscuits, you can't open. All packages.
And a packet of ham, which I don't very well.
It's terrible. They're not, none of the
By the time you open it, you don't want the ham.
No. Oh gosh, yes.
I hate seafood. I really, absolutely detest it. I did eat a fish once, about 2 years ago, and I think they're disgusting.
Now, I like prawns and all the shellfish. I mean, I know they're lovely, but I'm always afraid in case you get the one that will turn your stomach.
Whelks, mussels. That's like eating slugs.
Is it?
Oysters and stuff.
I've never tasted a slug.
Yeah, sliding down your gullet.
But you don't eat slugs,
like
do you?
eating a slug.
Well, how do you know when you've never had one?
That's how I would imagine it to be.
I love salads. Same as I'd rather have a salad than a roast dinner.
We eat a lot of salad in the summer, don't we? More in the winter.
Salt and a bit of tomato. Can't beat a bit of salt.
Can't beat a bit of lettuce.
Well, I mean, I feel very healthy. The only thing that I have problems with is digestion, and I don't know what is wrong with my digestion. I mean, it's just like I just fart all the time,
I've got a windy stomach, so like a lot of things I would not eat if it would upset me. But other than that, no, I'm not a diet person.
Vegetarian is all right, but when they cut out everything, because some of them don't eat, well, they're vegans, is it? Vegans, I think that's hard.
I've been a vegetarian a long time, and when I'm angry, I sometimes lapse and just go and bite something. It's made out of meat, and then I feel guilty afterwards.
Vegetarians, I think they're sort of trying to be better than the rest of us. It's been proved, as far as I know, that the best thing to eat is a bit of yourself.
Actually, beans gives me wind and lemonade makes me burp.
What are you looking at?
Thank you very much.
I think the
first
egg came first.
I think
to give birth, so the chicken could come out, and then the chicken can have
But
more
where
eggs.
would the egg come from?
Oh yeah, but if you think about it, an egg is going to become a chicken, but it's being but then the chicken's going to be would be an egg. So if you think about chickens after the egg, I think egg comes first.
Yeah, but maybe the chicken might have come from another animal, like a rooster. It's quite.
There's sterile waters somewhere, and the volcanic chemicals and all that has started life, and then we've evolved from that. What I do find hard is the fact that we've actually evolved from something so so minuscule, like so microscopic to the dinosaurs, to us.
I think that we come from some kind of chemical explosion that caused some form of life to be created, and that we eventually slithered out of the sea, and it may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but eventually we're going to be extinct.
I think we are a process of evolution. I think we are not the top of the pinnacle. We are just a branch, I think.
Yeah, I'm completely conscious of the fact that I'm actually just a cloud of potential, of which primarily water molecules. If you looked at me across time, you would see a cloud of water molecules form and momentarily become brine and then move off again.
I can't bring myself around to thinking we came from the sea.
No, I don't think great-great-granddad was a fish.
Slimy then, wouldn't
Yeah, I'm sure that we came from the sea, most definitely, because it just seems, you know, when I get into water, I naturally want to start frolicking, and I think that must mean that, you know, so we came out of the sea and crawled onto land for some reason. I don't know why, and it's a shame. I think it'd be great if we all went back to being aquatic.
I don't know. I think we're more likely to have originated from on land, because we haven't got, like, you know, we've got gills, haven't we? But maybe, you know.
Well, they're always looking for this missing link, aren't they? And they've never found it yet. The connection between us and monkeys. I mean, what sort of idiot wants to prove he's come from a monkey?
The difference between me and a monkey would be mainly that monkeys, they live in the jungle and I live in Catford.
There's a train of thought that says that we came to this planet thousands, hundreds, millions, whatever, years ago, and in fact already did colonise this planet as an alien race.
I do incline to think maybe we did start from another planet, maybe we did come from another planet.
You know, I'd love to see aliens or something similar on our planet. I think it'd be great to see how we kind of interact with them, whether they'd be similar to us or not very similar or something like that.
Would they be good golfers?
Humans were created by this giant cosmic cow licking a stone, and as it licked this stone, the humans rolled off.
Looking at birds evolved from dinosaurs. Yeah, probably could have done, because they did actually have wings, didn't they? Some dinosaurs years and years ago, didn't they? So that was the size of the dinosaur, and how do you get something like a sparrow or a little wren or something like that from something that's absolutely ginormous, this huge, great sort of dinosaur?
I don't know really. I haven't never really given it much thought.
Yeah, where'd you get these questions from?
Well, you know, your evolution, that's all a load of rubbish, isn't it? It's not true, is it? It's a load of rubbish. How can you possibly evolve a set of wings? It's not going to happen, is it? I mean, I'd like a set of wings. I'd love a set of wings. In fact, if I could have anything, I'd definitely have a set of wings, but it wouldn't matter how many times I jumped off a tall building, I'd never grow wings. And even if I jumped off a tall building and then my child jumped off a tall building and his child jumped off a tall building, and we did that forever and ever and ever, there is not the slightest chance that wings would grow out of my back.
We all started off much the same kind of thing. We all were waddling along on our bellies to begin with. Then we grew arms and heads and legs, and some of us got up and walked, and some of us stayed down crawling around. You know, I'm glad I've evolved the way I am. I wouldn't like to have been further back in the evolutionary scale.
I think we've evolved to our full potential. I think we have.
Possibly.
It's hard to...
Maybe not on an intellectual basis, because
Well, I
every
don't
day
know, it's hard to...
more and more.
Hard to see how you can improve further, isn't it?
We'd be able to do some good tricks if we had a couple more legs. I'm sure we'd be able to work out some new stunts for the show, so that could be a positive advantage, definitely at this stage.
Depends whose legs they were, doesn't it, right?
I think, I mean, obviously we'd adapt in whatever way if we had extra legs, but...
We were, wouldn't it? If you had 6 legs, where would your arse be?
Yeah.
I don't know whether physiologically we're developing. The only thing I can think of is that because we have such stressed lives, we're much more aware of exercising to release the stress, and so we're getting more toned bodies than we might have had.
I've got as far as I'd like to evolve as I am at the moment. At the moment.
I'm searching, you know what I mean?
Aren't we all?
Maybe one day I'll just wake up and think, I have evolved.
One day we think you got there, the next minute you get run over.
That's it, game over. You know what I mean?
I regard myself as a kind of ego-driven space-time meat vehicle. And I'm in the centre as the driver, trapped inside the folly of the monkey ego. But I accept that, its limitations, but I know that the truth is that it's actually just a space-time version of a larger hyperdimensional information field.
Oh, jeez. I just think, at the end of the day, it's about genetic transport. Basically, we're just hauling genomes along in a bag, which is our body, from century to century. I think that's what it's all about, folks, you know?
It's noticeable we don't get cold winters anymore. They're just wet. So, we might survive another one.
My family's been out here running a donkey ride since 1886. We've been here, so we're a long-established family, and we've seen a lot of changes over the years.
We're great beach people, but not sunburning, but not sunbathing. The bottom line is we never sunbathe.
The wind, if it's too strong, it's not so comfortable. You know, it'll be cool. But today I found quite pleasant, to be quite honest. Yes, rather warmer than yesterday, I thought.
I think you just take potluck, don't you?
A little bit of a joke, isn't it?
If it rains, then we've got wet weather gear, so it doesn't really stop us.
When it does rain, it clears the beach. As soon as you get some rain, there can be thousands of people along the beach. As soon as you get a drop of that rain, they're gone.
Donkey rides and dodging cars and candy floss, toffee apples, they're the things that you sort of associate with British seaside resort, you know.
Yeah, indeed. My wife and I holiday annually in Cornwall or Devon. My wife actually must have sea and coast on her holiday agenda, so that over the many years, even though all our holidays have been in Britain, we've only once been to a non-coastal county, which is Shropshire. We had a fine holiday there, but the need to be near the sea nevertheless draws us back time and time again.
I think the favourite beach that I do is right up there where you can see the cliffs at Scarborough, where the donkey ride. It's on the south side, on the north side. I think that's the nicest part, and Bridlington Beach. But I think the Scarborough Beach is the nicest one that I've ever been to.
Yes, I think we've got a lovely beach. The only problem is obviously the sea doesn't come in very often. Usually it's only in twice a day, and it usually seems to be the wrong time of the day for holiday makers.
What I love is just splashing in the waves, and it's really cold, and you just jump in the sea, swim around in there, and it's really nice.
Oh no, I wouldn't do that. No, too many germs in the sea. Too many things that can make you ill and bad. You know, if you want to stay healthy, stay out of the sea. That's what I say.
Not very good at swimming. I just sink. Don't know why that is. I do though. It's true, because people say if you lie on your back, you float. Well, you don't. Well, I don't. I just sink.
I do like swimming in the sea. I've always done it. We used to go to Cornwall, which it was nice, but it was always windy, always cold. But if I find this area, we always feel, much better. I wouldn't mind living down there, to be quite honest.
I had octopus once when we were. I didn't know it was octopus. Very tough, yes. Very tough. But I ate it. I'm saying now that I won't eat prawns and all these things, but I chewy. ate that. But when I knew afterwards, like everybody else, I felt quite ill.
In our own part of the world, we're extremely attached to Whitby and visited in what's called our Whitby season, which is from October to March.
I've always felt uncomfortable with hot weather. I don't like hot weather. I don't like it. So, and you don't either.
No, I don't.
So we're agreed on that.
I love sunbathing because it's very warm and it's very relaxing, and it's almost like just being in bed, really, isn't it? Except it's like having a big electric blanket over you all the time, and you go brown, and that's always good.
I can't sunbathe for very long because I had a very hot summer. I got sunstroke and I can't sit out in it too long. I can sit for so long, I sit for an hour, put some plenty of cream on, but after that I start feeling sickly and I've got to come in.
At the end of the day, what's it doing? It's cooking you, isn't it? The sun is actually cooking you.
Plus
That's
I get
why you
heat
go
rash.
brown flat.
If I'm in it for 10 minutes, I get a heat rash.
No, don't want to burn my skin, do I? Bad for you.
I love scrambling over rocks, being in the rock pools and just looking for cracks and looking for mussels.
Oh, the best place for rock pooling is definitely Sidmouth. Really, really, really lovely rock pools everywhere. And I was rock pooling with the little kids, and I was sort of digging around with, marvelling at nature. Oh, this disgusting thing, this turd fish, and it came really suddenly, and I pulled it up and I was trying to sort of marvel at it with the children. It was so disgusting. I just ended up screaming and chucking it back.
Well, it's pollution. I think they're a lot cleaner than they used to be, the beaches in this country. They're beginning to get their act together, I think, now. Well, they have to, don't they? These European regulations on beaches.
Well, the one what springs to my mind was a very, very big spillage.
Worst fear, I suppose, isn't it? If you dive in, you dive
Yeah.
I don't want to go in the water and come up with oil all over you.
Yeah.
It must put people off a holiday to see the state of it.
I think they get fined. I'm almost certain they do get fined. The ship owners.
Pollution is a problem everywhere, isn't it? I don't know. On the beach, what do you get? What pollution do you get on the beach? You get, well, too many people, probably, with worse pollution and radios.
We wouldn't sit next to someone that had radios blaring out and were really being loud and everything. I think if they came and sat next to us, we'd move. If we were sitting on the beach, or if they had dogs or stuff like that. We wouldn't stay there.
But the only reason I'm still doing this job is because of the children. If you see their faces as they get off a coach, remember, some have never seen a beach before, and it gives us great pleasure. The children are what make the job.
The old stuff, the donkeys and the carts and things like that, they're going to be around for a long time to come, yeah. The high-tech games, I think really they've had their day.
So coming back tomorrow, and hopefully swim again. Not doing well. I don't know what the forecast is for tomorrow, but if it's like this, we should be here. Okay. Right. Nice to spoken to you anyway.
As to the finest holiday that I've had, I would probably say paradoxically, that it was in the Lake District during the foot and mouth epidemic.
My ideal British holiday, I'd probably like a weekend city break myself, living by the sea.
Don't want to fight it this way.
I hate going to sleep, I do. Just do. I just hate going to sleep. I do. Just hate going to sleep anyway. I do. I don't like going to...
How many hours do you reckon you could stay awake for?
Competitively, 24.
Well, yesterday, I can use as an example, I stayed awake for 8.5 hours. I did.
8.5?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, the sleep is very important. For me, it's very important. For me, sleeping is very important. I think it's very important, the sleep, for me.
People think that when you work on nights that you'll automatically go sleep in the daytime because you're so tired. It doesn't work like that. I wish it did. Because you're really, like, you come home at 6 in the morning, I'm buzzing, aren't I? I probably could go to about 10, 12. I probably could stay awake all day, actually. But then all of a sudden, bang, it hits you like a wall.
What happens is, if, say, for instance,
It turns into a grumpy old... That's what happens.
What was I going to say then? I had a good one then.
Oh, sorry.
I don't go to bed till late. I couldn't go at 9 like you.
You couldn't?
No.
9:30 and that's it?
Lunchtime?
No.
No.
Normally, I'd have 6 to 7 hours sleep. I think it's advisable to have 7. I know that if you have more than 7 or less than 7, you're likely to die earlier.
If you're tired enough, you'll sleep anywhere. Doesn't matter where it is, as long as it's warm and dry.
That's all you need, really. Slept in fields, stuff like that.
Tunnels.
Under motorway bridges.
Slept in the middle of motorways, actually, a couple of times.
It does something queer to folk, doesn't it? I mean, they might be a bit more sparky, and they might be in the mood for love.
I could sleep 12 hours, easy. I could go to bed now and not wake up till 8 o'clock tomorrow morning.
5. There's the phone ringing.
Right. Hello? Hello? No, I'm sorry, she died ages ago. You need to update your records a bit better. She didn't, there's only the neighbour that moved, but they don't like to.
I heavy breathe at night.
No, man, you snore.
I don't snore.
No, you've always snored.
No, I don't snore.
You snore.
I don't snore. I don't snore.
You do.
I.
Why are you doing that? I'm telling you, I've heard you snoring, right? And you won't believe it. I'm not gonna lie to you about something like that. You snore, man.
I don't snore.
You do, like a pig.
I've never heard a pig snore.
It's diabolical. I'm not kidding. I'm not being nasty or anything. I'm telling the absolute truth. It wakes me in the night. It did early this morning, round about 4 a.m. And I shook. Well, I didn't shock Jackie. I said, Jackie, turn on your side, because when she's lying on her back, you see, her head will flop back, and she'll go. And I thought, oh,
you're nasty about me.
No, it's not. I'm not being nasty.
I can't help it, can I?
No.
I can't help it.
And you had your adenoids out.
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
Yes, and my tonsils, but I can't help it. I've got to lie on my back because I've got a bad back.
If I ever sleep on my back, I have those dreams where it's like you can't move. Really scary dreams, like you're half awake and half asleep, and I really hate that.
You never ever sleep on your back, do you?
Not anymore.
Well, that's.
Well, there is such a thing as nose pegs.
Is there really?
Yes.
Oh, well.
Which we'll have to introduce into this household.
I'll go and sleep in the other room if you want. Or you go and sleep in the other room. Yes, why not?
If you don't get your sleep, you're don't approach him. Really, don't approach him until he's. It's seriously, forget about brown grizzly bears, but they don't do damage. Keep
What about you when you're tired? You're just like the living dead. I talk to Francis Comatose. Can't do nothing.
No, I don't do that. I don't do that crazy stuff.
Mummy,
Yes, darling.
I'm really tired.
Do you want to go to bed?
No, he never goes to bed. It's the middle of the day, Michael.
I'm just like Mummy telling me it's too early.
In the day life, you hear a little bird tweeting. It sounds really lovely. But if that little bird is tweeting at 11 o'clock when you're trying to go to sleep, you want to kill them. But in the morning, you think, oh, lovely little bird.
For me, it was because it was.
Because I went to bed the other day and that little was like there tweeting in that tree and I want to cut it down. There's a whole family in there.
Yeah, you will then decide that it's almost like
Shut up.
Okay, Stephen. Have you ever sleep talked?
Well,
How do I know?
How's he going to know if he sleep talks?
You should ask her that question. She.
No, sometimes Stephen's like tossing and turning, and I think he's probably running away from somebody. He's probably doing something that he shouldn't be doing, or he's usually, yeah, he does something. So I don't know what he's doing.
Open the door, Daddy. I'm sleeping. Daddy, let me in. Daddy, let me in. Hey, get out of my bed. You know what time it is? It's 12 o'clock.
Do not make eye contact.
Hay. Hay, lots of hay and cows. Hey.
Do you dream?
Done ho?
No.
Run home?
No.
Bang ho?
Dream.
Oh, yes, I dream.
Yeah, they're terrible, aren't they?
Oh no, I always dream the same dream and I can never get to the bottom of it.
Better go back to sleep.
Yeah, go back to sleep.
Mummy,
Yes, darling.
when this is going over,
We'll be finished soon.
I'm really tired.
Then go to sleep.
You can come here.
Well, I need
Come here and
to
have a
suck
good
my
one.
thumb.
Yeah, suck your thumb then.
That's all right.
Well, when do you get this microscope off me?
Get the microphone off now. Know what? You don't have to worry about it. You finished your contribution. You lay down and suck your thumb.
I keep getting up. You know. I'm tired. I should have went to bed. I just hate going to sleep. You know.